How about you? I'm Hank. I want to talk to you about 5 misconceptions about the TYM tractor brand. Let's get right into the nuts and bolts of 5 misconceptions that I think that you are a potential TYM buyer or someone who is not really studying tractors, if you will, that's some misconceptions that you may have. Now, if you're using this video to go search out some of the facts about TYM and the corporation, this is not going to be about detailed facts. This is just going to be some general misconceptions that I feel are in the tractor community based off of forums that I read on the computer, some Facebook groups, things like that, talking to people at dealerships, talking to people at tractor shows, talking to people at events. Everybody, these are comments that I've heard over and over. These are some of the comments that I've read in videos. So I think hopefully this can dispel some of the misconceptions that you have, or you may have, or someone that has these misconceptions about the TYM tractor brand. The very first thing that I hear over and over and over again is that these tractors are made in China. These tractors are not made in China. They have nothing to do with China. So it's kind of crazy how people think that they're made in China, because they're not at all. These are South Korean made tractors that are actually assembled in the United States for the United States market. Obviously, if they have different markets around the world, the Korean market, the Asian market, the European market, those are assembled somewhere else. But if you're buying a tractor from a dealer in America or in Canada, those tractors came from America. They were built in South Korea. They were put on a boat. These tractors are assembled in Rome, Georgia, and they have a Texas distribution center as well. So one of these dealers that are in America or Canada, you got that tractor that helped American jobs, that helped American families put food on their table. So if you're watching this video in America, then you're contributing to the American economy by purchasing a TYM brand or TYM branded tractor. Which takes me to point number 2 of the misconceptions that a lot of people have when you talk about the TYM brand. The other misconception is, point number 2, is that they are a fly-by-night tractor company and no one's ever heard of them. TYM has been selling tractors for over 70 years. So I would consider them not a fly-by-night operation. They own about 5.5% of the tractor sales, the share of the tractor sales in the United States. So they're not, they're not number 1 or 2 behind John Deere or Kubota. Or number 3, I think, is Mahindra, but they're getting close. They're getting closer. And with the acquisition of Branson tractors, that market share is only going to go up. So they're right now at the recording of this video, they're sitting at about 5.5% of the share of the market value. So I think that you'll see those numbers go up the more that TYM is doing better marketing. They're doing more as far as the acquisition of Branson, so they'll having those tractors in their lineup as well. And they're, like I say, they've been doing tractors for a long time, 70 years. They've been a tractor company. So just because we haven't heard about them in America doesn't mean that they are not, that they're new, that they're fly-by-night. And then if you think about that, you think about, well, can I get dealer support? And that takes me to the third misconception that a lot of people have when they're talking about the TYM tractor brand. Number 3 is, do we have enough dealers to support the TYM brand? The answer is yes. there's over 300 dealers across America and into Canada. So with a dealer network of 300 strong, you're going to get amazing support. You're going to find them in every part of the country and even up to north of the border to Canada. So if you're thinking about, hey, am I going to be able to get dealer support? Am I going to get warranty work done? Am I going to get parts? Am I going to get supplies? Am I going to be able to get filters? Am I going to be able to, am I going to have to wait a long time? Well, based on supply chain issues from all over the commerce, everybody's got supply chain issues. That's no secret. So dealer support, am I going to have a dealer to fix my tractor if I need a warranty item covered? Can I get filters for it? Can I get parts for it? Can I walk into a dealer somewhere and pick up a bolt off the shelf, or a pedal, or a lever, a whatever to fix my tractor with, in, out, boom. Well, you got over 300 options in America and Canada. So the dealer network, a lot of people, I ain't never heard of TYM. Well, you haven't looked hard enough. There's TYM dealers everywhere. And I think that having 300 dealers across America, then that's going to tell you that you're going to have a dealer that's relatively close. In my circumstance, in my situation, I've actually got 3 dealers that are within an hour of me. I've got one that's 12 miles, and then I've got one that's about 45 minutes, and then I've got one that's about 45 miles. So I've got options from where I'm at here in Florida that will, if I have an issue come up with the TYM tractor, I can go 12 miles up the road, and if he doesn't have it, then I know that I can go 45 minutes to an hour north or west of here and still find a part or have the support that I need from one of those 300 dealers. So I've got I've got 1% of the dealers that are within an hour of me, if I did my math right. So dealer support, it's a big misconception. I think that you're going to have dealer support with the TYM tractors. And I think that if you research it, get online on the TYM website, they'll have a dealer locator. Check that out, and it will tell you your closest dealer. Talk to some people who have bought tractors from them and see if their support is good. There's an old saying in the tractor world, you don't marry the tractor, you marry the dealer. And I agree with that 100%. You got to have good dealers. And TYM has now acquired the old Branson dealers. And so they've taken the best of the Branson dealers, put them in the same pot as the best of the TYM dealers. And now you've even got more of a network. So I think that you're going to see that the more you research it and the more you look at it, TYM's got a great dealer network, great dealer support. And I think the misconception about not having any dealers, that's for the guys that are, in the middle of nowhere, that just haven't been around looking hard enough to find their TYM dealer that's close to them. So let's move on to the next point of some misconceptions that I think you have or someone has about the TYM tractor brand. So I think another misconception is that they don't have a lot of selection. And people say, well, they just don't have what I'm looking for. That is crazy. That's crazy talk right there. The TYM has over 62 models available. They even have 2 more that's coming out at the end of 2023, projected to come out at the end of 2023. So they're going to have, the mid 60s. So you got 62 to 65 models that they can offer you to fit your needs. So they have entry-level stuff that don't have a lot of bells and whistles. And now they got the 5835. That is the Cadillac of a 55, 50, 60 horsepower tractor. You got cab models. You got models that have mid-mount mowers. You have models that are four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive. You have models that are just, you get anywhere from 20 horsepower to 110 horsepower. You've got options in the TYM lineup. So I think that if you go around and you think, well, I need a tractor that's got A, B, C, D, and E, I think you can find a model of TYM tractor that's going to fit those needs. 62 to 65 models. That's a big wide range of selections packed behind that 300 dealer network support system and 70 years of experience in the business. That gives you a lot of options to deal with when you're thinking to yourself, well, do they really have what I need? The answer is yes, they do. I've seen a lot of them. I've been to a lot of tractor shows. I've been to, like, my dealers carry a lot of options and that are close to me that we just mentioned a while ago. We've got two models here at the farm. We've got this 55 horsepower T574 and the 22 horsepower T224. And so, you know, you can get them without emissions on them, which is the 25 horsepower and below. And then you go up here and you get this 55 horsepower tractor, and it's going to meet any needs that you have. So 62 options. That's a lot of doggone options, you know what I mean? So don't fool yourself into believing that there's not options out there in the TYM lineup, because there are. There's 62 to 65 of them. So take a look, go to their website and check out, hey, what model works best for me. And I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised on what you see as far as the range of the selection that they have. So let's talk about the last and final misconception that I think, maybe not the final, but let's talk about the last misconception that I think people have. Let me know in the comments below what some of the misconceptions are about TYM that you have or that you've heard. Let me know in the comments below, and we can kind of share this conversation together. Let's talk about the next misconception. Another misconception that I've read about and I've heard about, you know, not only are they fly by night and they don't make good quality tractors, well, one thing that can dispel that misconception right off the bat is the fact that they make tractors for other people. They make some Yanmar models. They make some bad boy models. They make the John Deere R and S models, or some of them, some components of them. So when you say things like, well, they're not really a high quality tractor, or they're just they're not well known. 70 years of experience, 300 dealer network, 62 models. South Koreans got an excellent reputation for making good tractors, and they make tractors for everybody else. You know what I mean? RKs, things like that. So you just have to think, you know, weigh those things and say, hey, you know what? Maybe they are a good tractor, and they are. I've got about 60 hours on the T224. I've got about 240, 245 on the T574 here. So none of them have given me any problems whatsoever. I've had them since January of 2022. And now I'm making this video in May of 2023. So January, February, March, April, May. So a year and a half, almost a year and a half now. We've gotten that many hours put on these machines, and I don't baby this equipment. I work it hard, and I think that the fact that it's getting used and abused and still standing up with zero issues. I mean, like literally zero issues on it. I haven't had anything go wrong with it. I have not had a regen yet because I run this thing hot, but that's a different video that we'll share that information with later. Those are the 5 misconceptions. It's not made in China. They do have great dealer support. They've been around a long time. They've got a wide variety of selections of models, and they make tractors for other people. So you know the quality's good, or their reputation as a company is good, or people like John Deere and people like Yanmar aren't going to sub TYM out to help them build their tractors. So I'm hoping that this is kind of informational, this educational video helps you when you're researching a TYM tractor. It's a great company. I've met several people in the corporate leadership roles. It's a family. They've got great leadership. They've got great products. They've got a great climate as a company. And I think that when they bring a dealer on board, they kind of vet that, you know, and say, hey, if you're not going to take care of our customers, we don't want you. I hope this dispels some of the misconceptions that you have about the TYM tractor. If you're seriously considering a more economical option for your farm or your homestead or whatever, TYM is worth the look. Look at them, go over them, make your assessments, make your pros and cons list about the tractors, and see if they meet your needs. I think they will. And I think that you'll get a fine, solid tractor if you go with TYM. Look, if you do your homework and you do your research and you find something else that fits your needs, that's fine, as long as the dealer is the dealer going to take care of you. That's the most important part. I don't think there's a bad tractor out there. I really don't. People be like, oh, you're only, you're singing TYM praises. I don't think there's a bad tractor out there. All right. And I think that if you weigh the pros and cons against the TYM against any other manufacturer, you'll see that the TYM is going to stack up really, really high. loader lift capacity, the options that you get at that particular price point. So check out the TYM tractors, and I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised that these misconceptions are something that you should have never dealt with in the first place. So hopefully that helps educate you a little bit about the TYM tractors. You can find all this information on their website. It's fairly easy to find this information. So I appreciate you guys watching. Check out this video right here of the TYM in action.